Why might you choose earthworks and some structural changes when growing on a slope? Hey, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. So what you see in front of me is an earthworks. It's probably 2 or 3 weeks old. It's got a cover crop on it, and it is stable because it's actually been through a couple storms. But what it does is it gives us more level surface area in the growing bed below it and better, more stable access up above it. Now what you'll see up a little bit higher is the same concept, a little bit younger, where we actually are raising the berm. Now it looks like it's 4 or 5 feet in the middle there, but there's more level of a road access below it. So if you're cutting a country road or a forest road, this is one of the methods you might do to cross a slope. But remember, that green stripe that's on the hill there, that is a level contour from this point over here all the way across to the other side. Now again, what this is doing is giving us more road access below and more growing space above. And you can see our beautiful Virginia red clay. It is hard as a rock at times. And so we were able to do this structure, and it is a structure. It has to be designed the right way. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it is a structure that is giving us shape and form to our growing spaces. And in fact, this particular type of structure is what you would see in a raised garden or a terraced garden, such as some of the eighth wonders of the world. But ultimately what we're doing is we're building a bund. So there's a structural mound at the bottom of this slope. Now it's an earthworks. We're not going to be running heavy equipment on it or driving vehicles on it. But it is a structure of compacted earth that's designed not to hold the water, but to soak and spread that water and then to be vegetated. So this hill that's built here, you can see the little green stripe in there, and that's our contour. And that you can even see, this is how good this operator is. And so you can even see some of the little paint on leaf as they went across this edge here. Now, can you do this yourself? You certainly can do it yourself. But if you've got somebody who knows what they're doing, if you're in the Ridgeway area, we do know operators that have equipment to do this 30 feet tall if you need it, but also in an agricultural setting to, again, slow and spread the water. We want the nutrients, we want the moisture, we want anything that comes off this watershed to be collected in the growing basins and used for plant productivity. And it completely transforms the space. It defines growing areas. It defines access points. Like I'm walking in what is now a road. You see the big wide gate? If we need to bring some straw bales back here and we have a bunch of volunteers, we don't want those volunteers to have to carry all that stuff. We can bring a cart or a piece of equipment back here to drop that stuff off. Now I want to show you something interesting. A lot of folks are worried about the slopes and the design of the bund itself, where you can see how the soil naturally fell across the contour and gave us a complete slope there. Now that's ideal if you have the soil to do it. It's not necessary, but essentially every compaction is a little bit further upslope, so that what you end up with is a structure, like a pyramid structure, that's capable of holding the excavator. The last thing you need is for an excavator to turn over in the middle of a job like this. So you want to make sure, again, that you're building structure. So that means layering and compacting and remeasuring and things like that. But this is a beautiful structure here, because what it gives us ability to do is to come in with vehicles or equipment to this particular growing area and to pick up harvest. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Justin, you're losing growing space. Okay, so this access point wasn't this wide before. We're now going to have a microclimate strip across the bottom here that we can grow wildflowers, we can grow specific crops, we can grow some herbs. But ultimately, we don't really lose space because we're lifting and leveling the ground. So we're giving us more level space to do the growing in, and safer access for individuals, less work. See, it's level contour all the way across the top of there. So much easier to push something across a level surface than it is to push it up or down a hill. Now again, the road goes up or down the hill. The road is on contour, but the road goes up and peaks at the center here as it comes over this particular hill. That is for drainage, so the water will roll away from the thing, but all the terraces actually slow and spread the water so that we're soaking it into the ground. So there's a lot of nuances here I can point out. Another factor is when you look down slope, these things are invisible. Like, you don't know they're there. And you do have to be careful not to walk off of one. But essentially what we've done is we've increased the usable space in a growing paddock or a growing area, and we've increased the accessible space by cart or riding lawnmower or side by side or a pickup truck in some cases. Now, would the pickup truck ever drive out to the edge of one of these terraces? No. Now, you might get close to it with a tiller, but again, I've mentioned it in other videos. Depending on the height of the wall, you need to have a certain amount of terrace up top in order for it to be stable. So overall, you need to have, for every 1 foot of height, you need 4 foot of the back of the terrace going back into the hill. And so if this is 5 feet tall, I need to have 10 feet going back into the hill of the terrace in order for it to maintain stability, of which I can't till all the way into the bund. So I've got to be mindful of my tillage and mindful of my equipment so that I don't go over the edge and cause a problem. If you got any questions about what I've covered here, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. This is a beautiful job here. If you'd like to see something like this or see something Earthworks incorporate in your design, visit www.prosperityhomestead.org. Ask your questions and we'll either address it in a video or one-on-one. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And this is how you get things done.